Hey guys, Carl Schickert here, and in this video I want to show you guys how to make your simple little unsubscribe bot. In fact, there's a couple of different ways you can do this, probably maybe 4 or 5 different ways you can do this. It's very important though that you set these up because you really want to keep your messaging and your Facebook fan page, you want to keep its health very clean, and you want to make it easy for people to unsubscribe, just like email. You don't want to end up, becoming some sort of spammer here. And also, you want to make sure that you open up most of your bots with a question that creates engagement before you ever bring in a promotion. And also, you want to follow up with some kind of value and potentially take somebody to a valuable post or a blog or something like that that you've potentially written, or that you've used as content curation, but you pepper in some of your sales messages throughout that message. That's something for a different training on a later date. However, I want to make sure that you guys have your unsubscribe bots built inside of your Segmate account. And I want to show you guys too, under keywords, like I said, there's kind of a couple of different ways to do this. You typically want to build 2, but I'll show you guys here in just a second. So as soon as this loads up, give it a second here, but it's good. Or maybe I didn't click it. As soon as this loads up here, I'm going to show you that there's a couple of different things that are completely hard-coded into your account. So when you first get in your account, these are hard-coded in here. There's nothing you can do about changing these. I can't change them at all because we wanted to protect our app, and we wanted our app to protect our users. So if a client or a subscriber to your account ever types the word subscribe, they're going to get subscribed. If they ever type the word or text the word unsubscribe, they're going to be unsubscribed. And then also we added stop, just like SMS text, because most SMS text messaging services require there to be a stop contingency, so that way people will be unsubscribed from those as well, because people can add you to them and they can spam you. So you need to do that, or they're kind of breaking the law. There's laws that go along with that. Now, there isn't, at the time of the recording this, there isn't technically a law, but there is a policy with Facebook that that you don't want to be flagged for spamming too much. And you could, when you end up having a large account, you could get flagged pretty easily if you're constantly sending promotional messages. I also want to make sure that you do watch our tutorial, and you go to our tutorial section on policy. Inside of policy, we talk about the 24+1 rule, which allows you to try to understand a little bit more about the different messaging types, and also when you can do promotional versus subscription messaging. There's also going to be a lot of stuff coming out here this month when I'm recording this, but there's going to be a change December 31st, I believe, or January 1st is when it'll go into effect, that you have to get subscriber messaging approved. Now, I'm not going to go over that here either. We actually did do a training about that not too long ago, but we'll probably be updating that as well. I think it's going to be a very relevant topic. So I'm not going to go into that. The main thing is just if you build these little unsubscriber bots, then it's going to help keep your subscription clean. It's going to help keep your fan page clean. It's going to let people get out of your account. And of course, people that don't like your information or not valuing your information, you want to make sure they get off of your account, because you're just really bothering them anyway. And then they could report you as spam, and that's really what we don't want to happen. We really want to just provide people value and let them know about who we are, what we do, why we do it, why you should buy it, that kind of stuff, okay? So anyway, there's a lot of crazy and good ideas to do that. It's just about conversations, about opening up conversations and dialect. But let's go ahead and start building a bot. Now, one thing that I always tell everybody is that everything is based off of a chatbot. So you really have to think about, what your goal is and how I can use the chatbot. And like all of these things have different goals in a sense. So on the chatbot part, it always starts with the chatbot. So I'm going to click on chatbot right now and wait a few seconds here for it to load up. There it is, and this is just kind of one of our template bots. Not really, we don't use, it's not active. So I figured that it would be good, and also by some of the questions I've been asked, is to just create one from scratch. I also want to mention that when you're creating these during the video, just pause the video and build with me. And that way you can pause, because this is sort of like over my shoulder, but that way you can pause with me and then you can build at the same time with me. So that way at the end of this little video, you're going to have your very own unsubscribe bot. We'll do it together, okay? So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this unsubscribe bot, and I'm going to stick this in sequences. Okay. Whoops. Yeah, I'll just use my, no, can't. So basically, I'm going to name this sequences. So SEUENCES, right? We got EBS. No. There we go. So I'm going to put that in sequences. Okay. I'm going to actually stick that in the evergreen sequences. Sometimes what I'll do when I'm kind of keeping order is I'll cut that and I'll put it in the front. So like if I'm using a keyword or if I'm using sequences inside of the chat bots here, it'll just you'll know what they're for. Okay. So you really don't have to mess with anything here. What I'm going to do here is just make this, like I said, this is one that I'm going to put in sequences. So that way on my buttons, when people say no or they take the negative approach in some of my questions, I kind of know like they're either not interested in the information I'm providing them or it's just not helpful for them. So I'll usually use that as sort of like a trigger, okay? And I'll get into that in just a minute. So what I'm going to do here is just write something off the top of my head. Now I would also mention that it's important to kind of know your audience. So if you're in a certain niche, you have certain lingo that you talk to them in that niche. You know, everybody has, you know, their own like verbs and adjectives that they use inside of niches. They have their own slang. They have their own acronyms. So if you know that, you kind of want to put that in here because you don't want people to unsubscribe. You want them to feel like you're one of them, you know, and so they'll, you know, less likely, the likelihood of them unsubscribing is pretty small. So here it'll be like, hey, and then also personalize. Make sure you have the cursor in there before you do that. Hey, so-and-so, I just wanted to let you know I appreciate you being with us here, and I wanted to make sure you are aware that you can unsubscribe anytime you want just by typing the word stop. Some people will put the parentheses in here. I don't know why, because they see that. However, you know, it's one of those things where sometimes you actually really want to be in your pages, and you want to be either yourself or a customer service representative or an employee. You want them to kind of moderate from inside of Facebook Messenger, inside of the Pages app. You know, you can get the app on your phone. That way you can kind of moderate what people are asking sometimes, because people need direct, you know, human response. So if you notice right here, I said just by typing the word stop. And then I want to end with a question, because like I said, I want to make sure that every one of my messages that I send out to people engage people, because that 24+1 rule always resets every single time you do that. You always have that +1. So that +1 goes beyond 24 hours. And then also too, like I'm always kind of using the promotional message tagging. You definitely want to make sure to go through some of our other trainings to understand what the differences between these two. But I do want to just make sure that you kind of get that part, okay? But it's simple, guys. It's real simple. I think I'm actually probably complicating it a little bit. So I'm going to end with a question. So I'll say, you know, does that make sense, right? Does that make sense? Whoops. Does that make sense? And then I'll put like a yes. yes, or actually, you know what? What I'll actually do here is I'm going to use quick replies because these disappear and I don't need to do anything else with them but have that here. So yes, or actually I'll make it even further. Yes, it does, exclamation point, another quick reply, no, it does not, dot, dot, dot. Save. Alright, so you know, it's yes or no question. They can click either button here. Let's go to yes. I'm going to create a new message, and this is where I click that new message, and you could see right here, this is sort of the logic, okay? So on post, if they click yes it does, this is the next text that I'm going to fill out. I can go back to post right here, and you can see there's an arrow on the button itself, on the quick reply. There's not one here because we haven't set it yet, right? But I can come here, I can set it again by clicking here on the create new message, and there it is. I can go back here, and you can see both buttons are there. The logic is going to always go to the next one. Of course, you see the little error message, and that just means there's no text here. So our system's telling you that, hey, you're not going to be able to save. So like if I save, this is going to come up. I'm not going to be able to save until I put text here because the bot is incomplete at that point. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to go to the yes it does. I'll say perfect, just wanted to make sure you knew this for future references. Okay, and I'll hit save. Of course, it's not going to save because I have to do the no one, but it says, you know, I'm just letting them know. Perfect, just let, you know, so that way they know. And then also, too, you might want to make more than one of these because, you know, the whole thing is like you don't want to over inundate, or you don't want it to always be so canned every single time. So it has like a less of a human feel if it's always the same thing all the time. But if you change it up every once in a while, or you change it up every 3 times in a row or whatever, then it's going to sound more human because they're going to be like, well, they didn't send me that one last time to ask me if I wanted to unsubscribe. So it's always good to have a few of these kind of in the back burner. So I could say like unsubscribe bot 1, right? And we'll have 1 and 2 and 3 potentially. So I'm going to go back and do the no. It just means that you want to, it just means that if you ever wanted to unsubscribe from our messenger bot service, you can type the word stop and we will never send you another message. I will never send you another message inside of Messenger. And I do want to mention here that also what I would do is I would also probably follow up with something here as well because I want to try to keep them here, you know. I want them to feel like they're going to miss out on something in the future. So I'll say, however, if you do that, you will miss out on future trainings that I'm sure will create value in your life. Something like that, right? Something that's just saying, it's kind of a takeaway, right? Like if you leave us, then you're going to miss out on these future trainings. Okay? Now I hit save, everything looks good, and we're almost done. We have one more step here. So what I want to do here is I'm going to go to evergreen sequences, and then once I'm on the evergreen sequences, what's going to happen here is I'm going to create my unsub 1. Okay, so I'm going to create my unsub bot 1. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and save it. You can name it whatever you want. I mean, this is just real quick. I always know it's there. It's going to be on. You don't do anything right here. You just wait. Let's do 1. 1 minute. What that means is when this is triggered, within 1 minute, they're going to get that unsubscribe bot. Okay, save. Okay, now that's saved. And only on the evergreen sequences, when you hit save, it saves turned on. On the reminder sequences for future references, it doesn't. So after you save, you got to come back and turn the little toggle switch on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to chatbots, and I'm going to go to one of my other chatbots. I'm not really sure exactly what all I have in here, but what I do have in here is at least something that I potentially could use. So this one here, it's got click through, so I know it's more than just a message. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and click on here. So you can see how this has a message, right? And this is going right into what you call a gallery. So it's got like two different text and then a gallery. This isn't necessarily how I'd always do it, but it looks like, you know, separate little messages when it's done like that. But we have a guy in-house that builds these. But I just want to show you real quick for referencing. This is a button on every single one of these galleries images, and this is like for a restaurant. It's not really for a food truck, even though it says it is. Again, one of our guys, I don't think he knows what the difference is, maybe. But anyway, I just want to show you right here. If you click here and you go to sequences, so subscribe to sequence, I'm going to drop that down, and look here, I've got the unsubscribe bot 1. I would click that and I would hit save. Now what's going to happen is anytime, let me refresh this. Okay, so anytime someone clicks here, they're going to be subscribed to that unsubscribe message. Okay, that bot is going to fire off after 1 minute of them clicking that button, if I wanted to have it there. Okay, I'm just going to, there's a little X right here. I'm going to take it out of here because I don't want it here. I'm going to hit save. But that's how you set that up. So like I said earlier, you want to make sure that you have on those particular bots, you want to make sure that, you know, it's usually, I'm going to fire this off, I don't know, maybe once a month, usually always after the first message that I ever send to these people. So if it's an automated thing from a welcome message or something like that, I might actually want to have that particular bot fired off at that point. And then usually anytime someone does something in the negative of my question, so if I say yes or no and they type no, then I might want to remind them of that, and then I'd build like 3 or 4 different bots that do that particular thing for that fan page. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you here is the other type of bot, the one that's going to be based off of a keyword. Now remember, every time that you do anything, right, you're going to always build it off of chatbot. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up right now. Okay, and then I'm going to hit create. And I'm going to call this the stop keyword. Actually, this keyword stop and an unsubscribe bot. Okay, so we know what it's called, and it's going to say hi, first name, we have hi first name, just one more step to sure you want to unsubscribe. Ensure, not insure. Alright, so just one more step to ensure you want to unsubscribe. Click the confirmation button below. Okay, and again, I'm just using words off the top of my head. If you've seen any of my other trainings on this, I probably use different jargon, but I'm just going to go ahead and add the button. Yes, unsubscribe me. Exclamation point, save. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the action that says unsubscribe. Save. That person's going to be unsubscribed no matter what. They've already, if they type stop, they're unsubscribed either way, okay? But this is kind of just another way to try to get them back, okay? But either way, I want to make sure that they get unsubscribed anyways. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up one more message, and it's going to say, you have been successfully unsubscribed. I think that's how it's spelled. You have been successfully unsubscribed. If you ever change your mind, you can come back here and click resubscribe. You can click the resubscribe button below. We hate to see you go, but we understand. Just make it easy for me. Resubscribe. I'm going to click down here. I'm going to go to the subscribe button and I'm going to hit save. I'm going to hit save here and I'm going to make one more message. Great. Actually, I'll make it great to have you back. We hope to only serve you value. Talk with you soon. The bot. Okay, usually I'll put your name, okay? Or sometimes what I'll do is I'll put like the company's name's bot. So like this is bot template 7, but let's just say it was food truck. It'd be like food truck's bot, you know, or food truck bot. But I'll just leave it like that because, you know, I'm going to tell people. Also, California had some weird law that came up recently that said you need to state that you're a bot. It's only in that state. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I always kind of like let people know. Also, I'll tell people it's a hybrid. Like sometimes they're going to be talking to a bot, sometimes they're going to be talking to a person. You may never know. It doesn't really matter as long as you get what you need. So anyways, I'm going to save that. This bot is now done. This bot is based off of the keyword. So I'm going to go to the keyword because I want to set that inside of the keyword as well. So just give it a second. Okay, and what I'm doing is going to hit add. I'm going to put stop. Okay, I'm going to say keyword is. I'm going to go choose chat engage bot or conversation. I'm going to go right here, keyword, stop, unsubscribe bot, save. Okay, so anytime someone keywords that in, stop, they're going to get that message. It's going to get them to double click. And if they resubscribe, it gives them a chance to resubscribe. I also want to mention that another thing that you can do is you can add the word, or you can add a button, okay? So if I wanted to come here in the chat bots, I'll show you here in just a second. I'm going to make a new bot because the one that's in here I don't think is going to work good for that, but I'm going to make a new one. And I'm going to write something in here. It's just going to be like a test, okay? Just a tester. And basically I'm just going to be like, you know, whatever. I'm not even writing anything, okay? I'm going to be like, so, yes, no. Okay, typically that's how questions, yes or no questions, true or false. But I might add a third button here, or this might be a second button. Unsubscribe me. Okay, save. I can make that a button, right? And I can come in here and I can do a couple of things. One of them is I can unsubscribe them. Okay. The next thing I can do is I can fire off another sequence. Now the only thing is At the time of this recording, we don't have this yet. We're going to have this soon. You're going to actually be able to pick a bot that you want to fire off as well. So I might fire off the bot that said, you know, the one that if they type stop, that fires that off. However, what you can do as a kind of a runaround is I can come over to the sequences and I can take that same stop keyword bot and I could put that into the evergreen sequence. I'm not going to show you that because, I mean, I think you get it, right? At this point, you should totally get it. You should have done the first one at least, right? But I will tell you that next, pretty soon we'll be able to do just bots. But until then, you'll subscribe to a sequence. And even though this is not the correct one, you would make the one that said keyword stop bot sequence or something like that. You could pick that here. And then people would basically, they're already unsubscribed. They'll click to unsubscribe again just to verify. And then they'll get the message that gets them to try to resubscribe at some point. They may come back and be like, oh my God, I just realized that I appreciated that or whatever. Okay, you just give people that second chance. Alright, so that concludes the unsubscribe bots and the different ways to build unsubscriptions from your account. This is very important, so just make sure that you do that as your account. And if you sell bots as a service or something, that's something you sell as part of your package, okay? If you're just doing it for your business, just make sure you do it on all of your fan pages. You want to make sure your fan pages are clean. You want to treat this just like email in that sense. You don't want people on your list, and you don't want to spam people. Alright guys, this is Carl Schuckert. I hope you enjoyed this training. Let me know, and we'll talk soon. Bye.